pledge on this one?
Second.
Motion by Kurt, second by Sarah, discuss the pledge of allegiance. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Public comment? None? Need a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Alicia. Approve the agenda. Any discussion? Now, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Trackside auto payment, the fire department had to get something done at Trackside Auto, cost $39. They did that this week, and Cliff is done on the 30th of May, selling
Sold
his company.
business.
And
Oh,
so
no.
he would like, he's got somebody coming in, but he would like payment before the 30th, so I would make a motion that we approve payment of $39 to Trackside Auto Fire.
Support.
Motion by Patty, second by Sarah to support it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. That moves us down to swim buoys. The Lake Pearl, Marine Pearl.
Marine Patrol, now I can't say it.
We will go with the person.
I went to Alma for a while, and I went to.
He was ready to put buoys out, but he says we need to put them in front of our new, and he says we need 2 more.
Yep.
Okay.
And the price of them are $675.63.
Which would be a little bit less, because that's got tax on it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long will they take to get in?
I think he would put in the ones we got, and then when they got,
The rest of them.
and that's another thing, I guess we might as well discuss it here.
This is
At
where
the
we're
last-
supposed to discuss things, yep.
At the last board meeting, Mike Patrick said,
They would help,
right,
yeah.
and he don't want them doing it.
Okay,
The Lake Marine, they patrol, they wanna put them in,
okay.
And so
and,
they're also going to, when they get moved, because they always do, they
right,
come
he
back
goes,
and put
puts
it
them
back.
in,
See,
yeah.
and that's why they wanted to put them in, because they're the ones that kind of chase them around the lake, so they can drift off.
And he does say, which we could probably, he says, and I don't know how to do that, if we need to put signs, cause we still don't have no deal with all the Garrett.
Yeah, we did,
Well, we
we're gonna
did
do
that,
in-
right. But, they need to put signs like no public swimming. Did he tell you that, the marine guy?
I would think that's on the private property owner to say
What
private
Garrett
property,
said to
right?
me was, then move your signs. Get rid of that
Yeah.
public beach, public parking, move your signs.
And we could put the public beach one, cause he,
And Garrett can hire somebody if he doesn't want people there, or people are gonna be there.
Mhm.
You know, it's his property.
Right.
And it's our liability, so move our signs.
Yeah.
I'll get with, DPW, remove signs, and then we need to put the cement blocks back.
When you say
The
cement blocks, that
great
could be
wall.
the what?
Well, we moved all those big cement blocks to the north of the, and the part of the deal was that if we ever gave it up, we had to move them back.
Cause he had them across there, so
The
nobody could
frontage.
avoid.
We moved those?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Kevin moved them with the tractor.
Oh, okay.
But Kevin don't think his tractor, we got a smaller one now. It was all his big one could do to lift them the last time.
Might have to go out hire Bob to do it or something.
I'm trying to think what kind of equipment he's got, but I
He's
don't
got
know.
a couple of backhoes, a mini hoe.
How many do we have to move? Did we
Oh,
move all of those?
Yeah. All those ones that run east and west there.
Right, which is the majority of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he gonna do, just block his driveway?
Probably.
Well, if you don't get nowhere, he told me when I met with him, that someone has told him that Garrett, Devin would pay half the rent. But Devin ain't indicated to me he'll give like a couple, $3,000 and that's it.
I'd say we go forward, we've got our part. let's have people learn to use our park. And Garrett can handle his property, it's his property.
And learn to how to park on streets. You're not gonna stay overnight, you have every street you can
We
have
have
on
a
street
community center,
parking.
and hopefully we can then use some money to, maybe we can, at the edge of this area, eventually,
So
a
if
few
we
more
have more
parking
dirt there
spots.
now, yeah.
you know,
Okay,
things to develop in the future. More of the park plan,
So 2 more swim buoys though?
I'll make a
Two more
motion
swim
to
buoys.
purchase 2 swim buoys.
Support.
and then.
motion by Patty, second by Sarah to purchase 2 more swim buoys
Move
for,
the signs, move the blocks, asphalt, we don't know how much that's gonna be, but,
no.
um.
All in favor, say aye.
I-
All opposed, motion carried.
When we talk about signs, I wondered if we needed to do a sign that said, no lifeguard on duty.
I would think hit up Wolverine about that, since it's beach access with this, and the DNR needs to be denoted on the sign as being one of the grantors for
Well,
the
we have to
park.
put a little sign, we have to get one of those little plaques anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But I'm thinking maybe a bigger sign or something.
Swim at your own risk, no lifeguard on duty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It should probably have both of those, but hit Wolverine first, and they may say, hit your attorney and see what they say, or hit your insurance and see what they say, would be my guess.
swim at own risk.
No lifeguard on duty.
Spencer came in just before our last meeting. They plan on hydro seeding tomorrow, everything goes all right. They took the orange fence down because they said they can't keep it up,
no,
and they think
And the
it's,
kids. And the kids.
and they say they think it's more of a trip hazard than a,
Yeah.
yeah,
and he says even up, they're gonna go over it this weekend.
sure they are. Do they need to block off where they hydro seed?
No, he didn't, he
He
didn't say
didn't
nothing,
say
no.
anything about
If
that.
that's a Patty thought we should,
I
probably.
think
Yes.
even if we do, like, get Mitch and Pat some little wood stakes and even caution tape around,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
some little signs that say, please stay off the new grass,
Just, you
people.
know,
I mean,
new grass,
it's
whatever.
rocket science, but
But yeah.
even just it's caution
because they're
tape.
gonna walk through it, you don't want them to walk through
Right.
it. Yeah, because
That's-
they're
I
gonna
was
go, hey,
thinking-
you guys, you're gonna get a hydro, you're gonna have to pay for your own hydro seeding
Tomorrow.
again.
Cause they're not
It's-
doing the
it's-
tiers, anything on the tiers, right, is that what you said?
Yeah, cause
Just, the tiers
next,
aren't done, it's just
next
the
week they're putting a
hills.
soaker in.
The
I think he
hill,
said.
oh, okay, I thought you meant the tiers.
No,
When are they
tiers-
gonna do the tiers?
They gotta get the soaker system in
Yeah.
first, that's next week.
Okay, all right.
That's what he said.
Well, yeah, so if that's the area, it probably might be a little bit less hard to say, oh, walk here.
Sorry, those people,
Last
Don't go
weekend.
anywhere.
turn this off for a minute.
No, I understand.
The people with the
just-
side by sides, they're up there tearing it up now,
Yeah.
and the caution tape's not gonna stop them if they wanna go in, but
Well,
maybe
no,
it'll
let's
touch
see.
their conscience a little bit.
Is music in the park out at no park
Yes.
this summer?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the intent.
That's
Well,
what I'm
then we
saying.
can go back to no RVs in the park.
See, and I think so too.
That's
because
what I always
I
thought
went
that.
up there Saturday to meet with the Marine guy, and there were 2 vehicles parked right by the
Right at the cusp, yeah.
the side room. And so Mitch and Pat, we talked about, they're gonna put that wire up again, so nobody can go up that way. You know, because we kept it down, because we use it in the park, and the seniors use the pavilion, but without the pavilion there,
Right.
I think we need to put that gate up there, or whatever, that cable up, so you can't go up that way,
Right.
and really maybe get with the
Yeah,
officer.
yes, I move that, yeah, for the season of 2024, we do not allow ORVs in the park, and it is
Or
patrolled.
on the beach, or
Correct.
on the palladium.
And you can't do it when your eyes closed, and you can't do it with your left hand behind your back like 9-year-olds.
And I said when I was down there the other day to meet them, the no parking sign on the beach, right there, you know, this side of the sidewalk where the pavilion, and there's a car with its rear end touching the no parking sign. And it was there for like an hour and a half, but the car
You know,
wasn't
in
on
the
duty.
summer, you just sit out there on the lake and then you watch the cops ticket them, because in the summer, the cops are patrolling and they'll ticket them.
Yeah. But yeah,
They do that, yeah, they've
so
done it for years.
contact officer,
Yeah.
no vehicles.
Yeah,
RVs,
park,
no, nothing.
beach, or waiting area.
On township property,
Yeah.
but something.
Don't say township
I
property,
know.
no parks,
All right.
township property.
Jeremy called me the other day. He's concerned, he said last weekend was a busy weekend, and they were complaining, no porta potties. Well, I caught Patty, yeah, they delivered them, but since our building ain't there, the porta potty's sitting up.
Right,
Park,
right.
he thinks we should try to move them this way, but I don't. They're gonna hydro seed, I think, in behind.
No.
Everything will take
Just
time.
leave them
They'll
up
find
there.
them, they'll find them.
Like, direct people to go over the other side of the hill,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And
not
maybe-
mess up.
And maybe we need to let Devin know, or let the bar know that there are bathrooms in the park. They are there, they might not be where they used to be, but.
Yeah, and that's your choice
Yeah,
as a
that's your
business
call
owner,
or
if you wanna let
something.
people use the
Right,
That's
restroom
the
or not.
number I heard.
If you know public restroom, you know, patrons only,
So they're on the other side of
They're in
the.
Hill.
No,
They're in
no,
the parking lot.
Right on
The
the
parking
parking
lot.
lot.
Where the
over there,
siren
south
is.
side.
Oh, okay. And was there a plan to put something down where the handicap parking lot is and that little cement cutaway?
The cement cutaway on Lake Street,
Yeah.
that's where the.
porta potties
Will go, but they, until they get a hydro
Oh,
seated.
okay. Cause I'm like, that looks like that's where they're supposed to go.
It
And
is.
but you're,
They're not
they're
ready
just
yet.
not ready yet.
No, they ain't ready to
We
be
didn't want to
there.
put them in there before they
Right.
hydro seed, because then they couldn't hydro seed.
Right.
No, that makes sense.
Like
It
hydro
just looks
seed.
like a
So
natural
maybe
place
they
for-
can, if they hydro seed tomorrow, maybe we can get them moved next week. I mean, unfortunately, it's not, the timing is it.
You know, everything takes time. Everything takes
We're
time.
trying.
Yeah.
Okay. Moves us down to 7 dumpsters. Out here they picked our one dumpster up because they go in the front dump.
One or the other, they're switched out.
Yeah, I think they were rear dumps before.
Yeah.
No, it's a front load or something. Maybe it's a term.
Current, we pay $242 a month, right?
For a 6-yard.
For a 6-yard. We
For
can
this
go
one
to
up here.
8-yard for $10 more, $252.
Okay.
Do we need the space, and is it just
Well-
us using it?
They
But
lock
normally they
it,
lock it.
they
but you
lock
still
it,
get-
And they provided us with new keys and a new lock, and they're universal, so that they never have to find our guys, because they were at a burial when they needed to get in there. And he wanted to cut the lock off, and I said, no, hang on. You know, so they didn't.
they, especially for the summer, and that was my question. If we could get 2 pickups a week, or, you know, I mean, they don't do that, that's absolutely not an option.
Okay, but, and I know Mitch had sent us, I don't know if it's, I myself don't know, he deals with that. He wondered if we could get 2. But that's getting really expensive, and I know that they fill it up a lot,
If they brought 2, they charge us,
it'd be double.
yeah, what, another $165 just to deliver another one?
I think it's $100 to deliver.
$100.
But what does it cost if 2 of them, 4 of them?
It's just, and that's seasonal only, right? Because they will
Then
do
we
it.
probably have to pay $100 to have it taken away.
Right,
You know what I
so
mean?
that would kinda
So,
take it
well, let's
away,
go
so.
with the
I think
8-yard
go
and
to the
see,
8-yard
see what
for
this,
$10 more dollars and
yeah.
So, make a motion to approve an 8-yard.
Support.
motion by Patty, second by Sarah to go to an 8-yard for $252. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. The AED, Nancy contacted, Travis. He said he could come in and mount it for us, cause he's got the cement tools and stuff for 50 to 150 something.
No, 50 to 100, and I talked to him a little bit more, and even though he hasn't looked at it, it's probably gonna be less than 50. And he could have done it yesterday, but, so, anyway, I make a motion to hire Travis to do that, and between $50 to $100 is probably gonna be less.
I'll second.
Motion by Nancy, second by Sarah to hire Travis to put the AD on the wall. Any more discussion? Huh?
Do we know exactly where we're putting it?
Well, I believe we discussed it, we put it on that wall right
Okay,
there.
right, this one?
The one that goes this way.
the one that goes
Oh,
that
I
way.
thought we did one. Oh, because it's gonna be recessed.
Right.
It is not gonna be recessed.
No,
It
it's
is not gonna be
no.
recessed.
But it's gonna be somewhere the door won't hit it,
Right,
right?
the door won't hit it.
Yeah,
And you've got a garbage can there.
yeah.
might have to move sweeping things over a little bit, but, you know.
Won't be a problem. Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. KCI tax bills.
Yeah, there's, KCI can do 1,975 of our almost 3,000 tax bills for $1,681.33. The cost of 500 envelopes, if it's done in-house, is $427, and I need 4 boxes. So it also isn't wear and tear on
Wash.
the
I mean, it's a
Xerox
wash.
printer.
Paper,
Yeah, ink toner,
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So I'd like to let them know that we're gonna go this way. Make a motion that, we hire KCI to do the tax bill. So
It's 1681, is that what you said?
1681.33.
Support.
Motion by Nancy, second by Sarah to hire KCI sell tax bills for $1681.33. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. That puts us down to the budget.
I sent you guys Mike's, right? I sent you that email? No?
No? No.
I just got that yesterday. Mike, fire department.
No, we have revenue expenditure year-to-date from April is what I had, and the budget that is on the website from last year and the amended 22-23 budget.
Sorry, Kurt, I know I stole this from you, but you're the only one that has it.
Did,
This is no good. This is no good, unless this gets fixed. This is worthless that you can look at.
The fat thing or the fire department one?
no, the taxes.
The taxes revenue, right.
For
it
the
needs to
fire
be changed.
department, we bring in, for that fire department,
Right, Brooke?
I don't even know if it's $140,000, but it's certainly not $12,600, it's $120-some thousand. So that makes this whole thing, if you go down to the last page, totally screwed.
Yeah.
So, year-to-date balance on that shows 110, so it needs to be, what is the $12,000 need to be? 140?
Let me look at my warrant, okay?
Okay.
And I'll tell you.
Okay.
And then, because what you're, well, yeah, let me look at the warrant. Sorry, Kurt.
You're all right.
14, here we go, this is 14.
Sewer's ain't in here either. Kevin says Janet had it, but then, he's working with, who's he working with, on these,
Oh, Matt from,
Matt from,
Matt, okay,
yeah.
no, not Matt, no, Matt from Rural Development
Oh,
to do a rate study.
But Matt looked at
Oh.
their,
We're gonna do a rate study, now we're gonna do a rate study.
do a budget, or her budget, and he says she's way low on things. So she can't come in until Monday, so Kevin said they'd get it taken care of Monday and have it before a board meeting.
what do you mean when you say she's way low on things?
Like, predicted what things are gonna cost.
Okay.
Janet put them in, and her and Kevin was going over 'em, but when Matt looked at them,
Oh, the numbers weren't enough.
yeah, enough money to
Gotcha.
allocate, I guess you wanna say
I
there.
gotcha.
She was on the shy side on all
Right,
her
right,
estimating.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So Kevin didn't wanna turn it in yet.
No, that makes sense, it's gotta be right.
Well, since the sewer is under the purview of Crystal Township, and since the fire department is under the purview of Crystal Township, and Crystal Township Board is working with last month's revenue and expenditure, not really a budget, I'm not sure what we're gonna talk about.
Well, I got a couple things,
I have a couple things too.
so we'll wait for that.
Okay.
Public comment, no one says I'll wait. I'm trying to follow the rules here.
So hard.
And it's a good public comment. It's really just about the DEA being able to have money that we can contribute to the park, but we want to know the levels of spending you're anticipating for the park. So that we can come together.
Well, that brings up a whole nother discussion.
Oh, yeah, and I do have one thing, yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay, okay.
Ding.
That's the fire department.
Yeah, too many.
Does anybody know, does Kevin have a capital improvement plan for the sewer budget? And has there ever been a capital improvement plan for the township?
I'm aware of.
Because what we learned in our budgeting workshops was that that is mandatory with the state of Michigan.
Rider with the state of Michigan.
So I'm not quite sure how that escaped.
Capital improvement plan.
And in our class that, well, a number of classes dealing with budget, like the budget process, Nancy gave a little window into at our last meeting, and like learning this of how to do a comprehensive budget that brings in your community's input and all the departments' input. Like, this might be earlier than ever before, but this is a 4 to 6 month process, and it needs to have public meetings and retool things and show up with a rough copy and talk and fix things and move them around, and I'm not understanding our budget process.
Well, do you want anybody to talk or?
Well, we're discussing,
We're
right?
discussing. Okay, well, I was gonna go where I'm from with this. Looking at last year's, and this is my paper, everything was clumped together. The entire governing body, when it came to the supervisor, it was just you and nothing else really, other than your, well, you don't have a deputy anymore. The treasurer and the clerk, every office supply, training, office, supplies, office expense, everything was just grouped together. You can't break that down and see what each department, and I am a department, really needs that way. I put mine together, breaking it down in between everything, including conference for the treasurer, BSNA training for the treasurer, supplies, office expenses, and transportation. So, to me, that's an easier way for us to keep track, and if you'll read through this book, once we pass this budget, we should be able to get what we need. We've okayed the budget. Our lawyer even said that in the meeting. Unless you're buying a vehicle, if you put it in the budget, you don't have to ask to get what you need.
That's the point of
That's-
doing the
that's the
budget,
point.
so
That's
it's
the point.
clear and people can see where the money is coming in from and where it's going out to.
When we do have to bring it up, is if we're gonna go over. And so it's up to that department to keep track of that. If you're going over, you better find out why, and you better have a good reason, and you're gonna have to ask to spend more money.
Have some kind of solution to not do it again.
Right.
Right, you know, are things coming in higher because of inflation, or did you just do something, you know, who knows?
Right,
I know.
And that's the point of doing the budget, so we can watch those trends and we can see where, okay, we really don't need 2 employees on these days or between these hours. Or if the season does this, and then that can help us to be more efficient and cut the waste. And looking at what's going on, Nancy and I had a meeting with, Jeremy last week about the Journey IT stuff. And he said, you know, you guys have some options that you have available to you that are free, but it would require licensing. For, you and I don't have access. We should have read-only access to BSNA so we can keep up with the numbers and what they're doing.
Yeah.
But to have that, then you need to have the license to be able to do that. And the same thing with the Dropbox thing. The Dropbox needs the license, BSNA doesn't, right?
Okay. BSNA, you just need to be able to get
Access to read.
Exactly, read-only access. Now, what he was talking about is if you have your own through the township, like Microsoft Office, and it can't be your own personal one,
Right.
okay? That's where that was costing more, that's the license.
Yeah, but for information purposes, everyone who sits on the board should have access to information. So if there are
Well,
3
you two are in-
laptops,
Are fiduciary, you're in charge of what is being
Oversight.
spent, and you can't even see it.
so like not having computers available for everyone on the board and not having licenses for everyone available on the board kind of cuts the people who don't have them off at the knees.
So it's, you know.
So in the budget, we need to include computers for the 2 of you.
Or the board.
The trustees,
Okay.
so they have access to information and Microsoft Office 365 license. So then things could be shared on OneDrive rather than on the server.
Right, except that my OneDrive is still under Ted Paget. Because Jeremy tried to get into it for me, and he said, that's not right, and I said, well, I'm certainly not Ted Paget. So, I'm gonna have to get in and get
So,
somebody to fix mine.
The licensing of Microsoft, 2 more licenses and 2 laptop computers need to be included.
Well, it's like, and I'm not putting anybody down, and neither was Jeremy, but a lot of times before, trustees just came to meetings and never paid attention to anything but what they were told. And I know you were a trustee for a long time, so of course you were paying attention to everything, you gotta know. But he's right,
Yeah.
you know, he's right.
And then like the
Then
copy,
what do you do when someone leaves the board?
Then you just
I-
transfer.
What we do now.
The
Get
computer
ahold
would
of
just go to
Jeremy
the
IT.
next person.
It's their job.
it's the office's computer, it's not the
It's not
person's.
personal.
Oh, you
That
want this
belongs
one
to
in
the
the office?
township.
No,
It is-
not a laptop
person
that goes
in the
everywhere.
office. The person
Personal.
in the office, as in,
This just crossed my
she's
mind.
in the
just a
office,
thought.
she's in the office.
Would it be possible to, because Kurt's computer's always out there, could we just get a sign-on for Sarah and a sign-on for Alicia at that computer and then allow them the BSNA access on that computer?
You're gonna have to ask your tech guy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, instead of,
I will tell you
would
this
that be a
much.
way to start that and if we didn't have, you know what I mean?
It would be a way to start it now, and that might work for this group as we are, but it might not work for the
Right.
next group.
Right.
Which you should have access to information at the baseline level.
Right.
Also, gotta remember, I have 2 old treasurer laptops still in my office. Can they be refurbished? You know, that way,
Laptops are not that expensive anymore, though. I
And
can
that's
tell you
true.
that.
that's true, well,
But you know what I mean, because we've all got our individual sign-on, so you should be able to sign on as Alicia Little and get
mhm.
anything you need, even if
Right.
it's Kurt's computer.
When mine was down, I just
Right.
used my sign-in on Sue's.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. So just a thought,
No, it's a good thought.
yeah,
It's
and
a good
because I didn't, if we could get you onto one like that, then I can get you the BSNA access for read-only, so that's not,
But by the way, Janet gets out of tax unless it's only read-only. Yes,
she's
she is.
read-only,
Are you sure?
yes, because I checked it,
Okay,
I did.
because I don't need anybody's fingers dancing to
No.
the tax department.
No.
And the thing with it is, if she's looking for addresses, those are good ones in here.
See, I don't even think she has I don't think she even has read only.
She has access. I can check who's got access. She got access. She never did before.
Okay. Back to the budget?
Back to the budget, something Matt Violet, said, we were talking, Alicia and I were talking with the permeable pavement guys, remember? And there was a whole gaggle of people around, and they're talking about the park and the improvements and what they do for concrete and chatter, chatter in the conference center, and Matt pokes his head behind, he goes, hey, Sarah, make sure you have a line item for maintenance on that new park.
Yeah.
And I said, that's a great plan, Matt. And it goes back to the let's not have potluck line items and let's start breaking them out so we know where our time and our resources are going to.
Start doing line items, adding them in. Because that's what I was thinking, you know, some of these like campground special tax, you know, I'm looking at revenue, it's right on
Right.
top. Can we take some of these out of here?
Yeah.
And activate a bunch of
Definitely
them.
be removed.
Yeah. So we don't.
Yeah, because you know what, and then, well,
See, this is where I'd like to have last year, so we can compare, you know, was it 0 last year compared to this year?
No.
So then why isn't, get rid of it?
there's no, well, when you think about the departments, there's no 336 fire department.
Right,
It's been 3
right,
years.
so we need to activate some of these.
Exactly, there's no 790 library. There's another 206 fire fund, non-existent. It would make your life much easier. There's no 216 fire department, but for some reason, there's a 2023 budget of miscellaneous expenditures for $500.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Let me look.
So, that's an 8.
316. Oh, we put $500 in the budget, but there's nothing spent. So we need-
Well, no, we don't have a 216 fire.
Right, but there's something in the first column, right? Under
Right.
amended budget, so it's $500, so we put $500 in the budget, and nothing's been spent, so that just needs to
Okay, we
change to
don't use
zero.
Fund 216.
Right, so that needs to be changed to
Yeah.
zero and inactivated, is what I said.
Yes, yes, yeah, correct.
Yeah. Should we start at the front page and see what
As
we
well.
can activate and activate?
What now?
Should we start at the front and inactivate and go line by line?
Oh, okay. Well-
So revenue for taxes this year, last year was, for 2023 was 88,000.
And I just gave you all the copies of the delinquent.
Oh, did you give me?
Well, no, I gave you the receipt for the tax,
Right.
and that's got in there, what was taxes. Right. What went to every one, so yeah, what were you asking me?
Because I wanted to copy the letter with the bill, with the check that I did.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I thought you were asking a question about this line.
Yeah,
Right, so is this, but I was saying, is this number correct or is this?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I've never 100% agreed with these numbers, but because I don't work with the budget, I never realized what you're putting in there and where you're getting it from. You know, and you gotta remember, my warrant is gonna be hopefully early June before I have it signed. I don't have all the information I need totally. I can probably get what taxes are gonna be. That's where my numbers come from, through assessing, through the values, through the taxes, et cetera, et cetera.
Will we have it, the numbers, or can we give numbers to revenue for the budget meeting in June, or no?
Well, I could probably even get them before then, but, Joanne's not gonna let me get my warrant signed before then, but I think Caitlin and I are pretty good on our numbers right now. Okay. And again, okay, your election reimbursement, that goes someplace else, right? Or does it go there? Don't we have a special one for elections and that, yeah, you do.
We
But
wanna
there's no
keep that one.
reimbursement in there, I'm sorry, what?
We wanna keep that one.
Well, but you have Department 262 elections, but there's no election reimbursement in there.
Right, because the revenue from all of these 101 accounts.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ted, I'm looking at it the wrong way.
I'm looking at
Pardon me.
revenues.
There you go, okay. Well, you've had election reimbursement this year.
And I wonder if it went under, I wonder if it got put under just reimbursement 676, the bottom.
We'll have to check, because I can remember receiving
Yeah, I know, we
that.
got one, we're waiting on another one from them.
Okay, something to check, gotcha.
So would the 676 line then be when we are reimbursed from the DNR for this grant, is that also the same place that that would
No,
go?
that's someplace else. That's
Okay.
right here.
Just making
There's
sure.
one for grants, well, there's one for the park.
Well, there are a number of things for the park, but I'm not sure what goes
Sorry.
in what.
Sorry.
So I guess the one thing I think is sale of fixed assets, we had 35,000, for sale of the truck, which we aren't selling the truck before July 1st of this year, so that needs to be changed to 0 for this year, and then 0 for next year.
Well, wait a minute, it can't be 0 because you've got a balance in there, a year-to-date balance.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it need to be the 3126.
Yeah, there's nothing else for selling, there's nothing else for selling.
But for next year, would that be 0?
Well, you know, I've always said, especially cost of trucks these days, we should keep it up and as long as we can. So I guess that would be a discussion amongst us, you know. Kurt, speaking up here.
Well, I think the thing to do is when it comes closer to fall, we order them, see what a new one's gonna cost us. And you know what we're probably gonna get out of this one.
How you gonna know?
What they've been selling, what we've been selling them for. Roughly. But what I'm saying is, if we can, I know the days are over, I'm making $8,000 to
We
$10,000.
had that discussion already, yup.
Right, but if it cost us $2,000 to $4,000 to have a new one for 2 years, you can't keep our old one around, cause your tires nowadays are gonna cost you $1,000 to put tires on one.
I put $1,000 in tire trucks
Yeah.
a year ago on my truck.
And see, we got but we do have it comes with a 3-year warranty. He says that does help sell them, cause that's what I thought, maybe we'd run this one for 3 years, cause we only got 12,000 miles on it. Kevin says, well, it'll help sell them, is you tell someone, hey, you got a year.
Well, yeah, and then I got a brand new truck my butt rides in.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about or be careful with, and this is township property. I think we need to use them as long as it financially makes sense to do so, because the insurance goes along with that too, because as you go up in the new years, you go up in your insurance payment. So I think that's gonna be, kind of be dependent on the market,
When
and
did we buy
you can
that?
try and float it
So
again.
you, 2 years would be up.
2022.
Yeah, this fall. Normally we order
You would have-
in the fall, and you usually either get it around like December or January.
How many miles is on these trucks?
12,000.
Okay, 12,000. You have a factory warranty, right?
For, yeah.
How
One more
many
year.
years? How many years usually?
3 years or 35,000, I think it is.
So definitely go through the end of your warranty.
That's what I would say. That's just, you know.
Yeah, so I'd say 0 for that one.
Any other changes to revenue for this year?
Well, basically, it's most of your lines, you know, fire protection contracts, those have another place.
Well, and is there,
Contributions from other funds, those have another place.
is there,
Fire department water, we don't do that anymore, sorry.
yeah, keep going, here, mine's a question, you're actually fire.
And then transfers in, I don't even know what we use it for, it's got 0 everywhere, I don't, it's up to you, Pat. But, you
What
know.
about the campground special tax? Is that ever used?
We don't collect.
Well, it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah, and it really does depend on who you talk to.
That's in a big question mark
We were
right
in a
now.
meeting in MTA and got absolutely told, no, an RV park does not qualify,
For it,
right?
tax exempt.
Correct.
So we should
Campground
be charged,
special tax, not.
like what
not
he's having to
tax
pay
exempt.
before.
Yeah.
$14 a thing or something.
$3
$3.
per,
The
yeah.
township gets $3 or something.
No,
No,
township
say
got
we don't
50
get nothing,
cents.
or we got 50 cents.
Township got 50 cents,
So they said we
county
should
got
be doing
50
it, huh?
cents, no, she said no,
Oh, no.
and the state got $2.
But doesn't,
But the state says yes.
yeah, I was gonna say, because my understanding of it is because Steve
I was
is
told
taxed.
by the county treasurer that the state needs to enforce that if they feel that that's correct.
But isn't the reason for the campground tax is because Steve gets property tax on empty land.
That
So
you're
the
gonna have to ask your
campground
assessor.
tax
It's
is
for
actually paid,
seasonal.
That
is
you're
for
gonna have
paying
to
for
check with
those
the assessor.
trailers.
Well, and their use of common services
Right,
that they
right.
enjoy that taxpayers of this township pay for.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
We're going to have to check with the assessor, I don't think he's on empty ground, but I don't know what he's taxed, you know, that's up to
But
her.
that was my understanding of campground tax as a whole, not necessarily Steve.
Right, it's for putting stress on your garbages, your
Right.
public bathrooms, your public spaces, your roads, your garden, yeah, all that stuff.
And the other thing was because now that, and I was always told that Steve paid it previously because he charged and the racetrack didn't have to pay anything because they let them camp there for free. But now since they're camping, they're charging for camping.
Who knows? That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Anyway,
But since that one's in question, I would leave that one there and say zero.
and then the only, oh, go ahead, sir.
No, go ahead, Pat.
Where we've got $200 on application fees, and then above it, licenses and permits. I think that $200 should go up to licenses and permits. Because that was $200 was for the marijuana license.
But
Because we budgeted 10, which would be $5,000
Okay, why have we
each.
got then another marijuana, we've got
Oh,
business
see.
license permit, and
Yeah.
then we've got marijuana
I
license.
think we just put
fees.
that one in, didn't we? So we need to change that $10,000 from 476 to.
No, Pat, my printouts from April, I can't tell you.
No, I'm looking at, account number. So
I know, but my printouts from
476.
April, so if anything's gone in there, because we did just receive a check, I
Right.
can't see it.
Is
Right.
it still zero?
Yeah, 'cause I think it went into I'm just saying, which line do we want to use our marijuana license fee? The license,
Well, the
478.
application fees were for an application for a marijuana license at the time that we created that.
Right, but so now should we put everything, the $10,000 a year under marijuana license fee instead of under the two previous ones above it?
What other business licenses and permits do we get, Pat?
None. That I.
But the thing of it was, is you can't put that application fees, that one goes with the line item above it, because they're both 476s, it's just one is 000 and one is 001.
And business licenses and permits could very well be a placeholder, because when you have ordinances and have some municipal infractions, that's where that would kind of
So,
go through.
I don't know what we're doing with that for sure, Pat.
so what do we want, license?
And zoning, if zoning were to come in the future.
I don't anticipate that before June 30th of
No.
2024, so that could probably be zero, and then change the marijuana one to the $10,000.
If that's what that money is reflective of, yeah.
Because that's what was put in there was 5,000, I would think it is. I gotta, you know what, I'm gonna have to look at my printout to see if my general ledger printout of numbers is not to date.
So we're moving the 10,000 down to 478.
I don't know, because then we're gonna have to do something with that 476001, because the application fees were put in there. for the fees for the marijuana license. Because they did an application and then they did a license itself. So those fees should say license if they're gonna say anything, or we should just put everything under business licenses and permits.
So get rid of the 478, move everything to 476.
I don't know. I wanna see how up to date my general ledger notebook front of it. I'm getting lost a little further down when we have interest and dividends and then we have interest revenue.
Oh, yeah.
An interest building.
I'm gonna pull out all my receiving books and start looking these things up. Once I get on my computer, I can tell what date those were put in and then I go to the right book.
Pat, do you have the ability to run a report on the rentals for here?
Like the gym rentals or?
Community center, the room rental, and the gym rental, and how is community center rentals, community room rental, and gym rental, how are those all taken
Well-
apart from each other? The room is just the one room, and the gym's just the gym.
Hang on a second.
And rentals is Head Start.
Rentals are Head Start.
Okay.
Community room is where we meet, the gym is the gym, and which one of those I got in my notes is the electronic sign. I think it's community center rentals is the electronic sign. My receipt, general ledger book has all sorts of notes in it. I think we both done that well.
So do you have ability to do that, to like run the yearly, like who has rented it out, how many times?
Do we not keep record of that?
That's not, I hand write a receipt for every check that enters in that's going into.
But we don't have like a
A
record.
spreadsheet where we could look at trends, who's renting it, and what's going
No, it's
on.
because we don't have cash receipts, okay? So there's no report.
But
But there is all my
keep
receipt
this-
book.
We could do our own spreadsheet that says it was rented to this person for this amount. And just have a spreadsheet.
Yes, and
That can be done.
do you remember that, Lawful Township expenditure webinar that Nancy asked us all to watch a month and a half, 2 months ago? Use of township, public and
Oh,
township
yes,
facilities.
yes, yes.
Did anyone catch in there how they handle rentals? How it was strongly suggested to handle rentals, like recurring rentals? It's a section in there, go back and watch it if you can,
That
because
section.
it touches on like how this is structured here. Because we are not supposed to donate
Right.
space equaling money that the township pays for. And as I was watching it, I thought, oh shit, community closet, but then they went on to say, everyone needs to have the same opportunity in the public to rent it. So you can't have somebody, they used a church as an example, who says, I want it every Sunday at this time. Because it prevents the rest of the community from having an opportunity to do that.
Utilize that.
Not saying you can't do those activities, but they need to be structured in lawful township spending, which would mean the township as a whole, the board, would say, we believe these are good programs, and we believe these are good things to have here to build our community center, so we will pay the instructor. Or it becomes the township, and the township pays the instructor. Because we shouldn't be letting one person have,
Utilize the space
yes,
Well,
that
okay,
I can't utilize as a citizen.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, Pat, remember when, somebody needed to use, I think, the gym when Taekwondo was there, and they let them use it? You know, cause you had mentioned, what do we do about payment? Well, it's already paid for because they have paid, so it's up to those two parties to decide, you know, no, who, if,
Oh.
this one need to reimburse this one,
Okay.
or
so
what,
you're
you said
saying-
it was already paid, so isn't it, is the, and I agree with, they shouldn't monopolize it, but I don't know as if they were approached, they ever refused. But they do have structured classes, these are good for the kids.
So like then we need to take the step and do the work and be the organizer, since it's our liability when they're all here anyway.
I don't think we wanna be in charge of hiring and stuff.
Right, well, go back and watch that webinar, because we're not supposed to be doing it this way. We are not supposed to be doing it this way.
I never caught what you're saying, I really
I
didn't.
remember
I
a
watched it
little
first.
bit of what you're
I
saying.
watched, yes, I got the fact that they shouldn't monopolize it, I never
Yeah.
caught the fact that we should hire our own Taekwondo instructor.
No, but we should hire, okay, so we have the yoga chick, we have Taekwondo guy. So we like having yoga here, so we approach her and say, yep, we as the township wanna have yoga classes at the community center available for our residents on Thursdays. We pay you for the class, if the class is here, it's just business structured a different
Who
way,
pays
and
us for the class?
that goes with lawful township spending.
Who pays us for the class?
It would be like a community, rec program. There was one in South Haven because they had a swimming pool, and they did the exact same thing there, that they gave classes, and the school didn't give the classes, the people who ran the swimming gave the classes. They were hired, because the school had the pool, and they got paid by their students to the teacher that way. We pay the teacher, and if they have theirs off the side, that's their own deal.
Who pays us to pay the teacher?
No,
We take
we-
that out of our
we
budget.
take it.
Our, the tax dollars.
As long as they're paying for the rent, why would it matter?
Because it's somebody making money in a commercial way on township property, and that is the big
Okay,
no-no.
well, that part I get, it was the way you phrased it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
that
No,
was
it's
better.
okay,
I
it's
think
okay,
that
I'm
was
listening,
better.
I'm listening.
Yeah, it's a big no-no to do it that way.
Well,
So
I'm sorry,
knowing-
I'm probably also gonna say that I need something, those kids need something to do.
I absolutely agree, so
That's
that
confusing.
makes the onus go on us to organize it, since it's our township
That's
owned
where we
property
need a Parks and Recs department.
and liability.
I got you. That's why we need a Parks and Recs department.
You gotta remember, that
To do-
department
Right,
has
but-
money, you gotta pay
Right.
those people.
No, exactly. I mean, people, yeah.
We're not in our guidelines with what we're doing now, we're not in our guardrails at all. Well, yeah, I took the class, that's what the class said.
No, I
I'm
understand.
not pulling it out of my
No,
butt.
you're not, you're
No, I
not.
believe you, I don't know,
A way around it at this point.
at this point, I mean, that needs to be corrected, but that's not necessarily, how, can we correct that before we have to do a budget?
Well, we need to start by getting some of these things line itemed out and put into spreadsheets so we can actually see those trends
But-
and see what is worth it.
But again, we don't have those today, or we're not gonna have those before June 30th, when a budget has to be adopted, so I'm,
But it needs to be part of our thought process of
Right.
what we
Well, I
have
get
coming
that.
in and
We're
what's
working
going
on a
on.
Parks and Recs plan, can't do, I mean, it's part of what they do, helping us, figure out what we need to
As far as the
have someone,
Parks and Recs.
at that department, so to speak. You know, we're getting into big territory, we're not a big township.
Right.
And so all of it is important, you know, it is something to consider, but I kind of agree with Pat, let's
we gotta
Get
focus
there,
on
but
this
we need to
budget,
get
it's
this
already,
budget together.
what time is it? mean,
Well, we have a lot to,
So is there anything we're taking off the general fund
revenue,
Is there anything that anybody wants to take off?
or change, what
Or,
numbers you want,
yeah, change
or is that something Nancy wants to sit down and work on numbers for the revenues for us?
I will look at the ones that come in from taxes, because that's part of my department. So that's Township tax, fire, road, police, and the assessments. I will also do some research on what has been recorded where, to make sure that we weren't giving you bad numbers.
So we're good with revenue. Okay, so let's start moving down to governing body.
Salary
Department 101.
is trustee salary. FICA looks like you need to up that a little bit. And Medicare up a little bit.
By the percentages, yes.
Yeah.
Move that to 450.
6.2% of 7,200. And 1.45% of 7,200. One is FICA, one is Medicare.
What did you
They're all-
say, 6.2%?
6.2% of 7,200 is FICA. 1.45% of 7,200 is
It's
Medicare.
446 for FICA. So you 450 just.
450.
Yeah.
Because you can't, it's never gonna be more.
Well, I mean.
FICA and Medicare
I
are
know, but
exact
446, but you, instead of putting 446 as our expense, 450 just to round numbers.
If you gotta round it up, then that's okay.
I-
But those numbers have to be an exact percentage. I don't think the government.
What was Medicare, Nancy?
1.45%.
Then we've got training, but what supplies and office expenses
105.
do the trustees have?
Well, no, see, everything from,
Medicare 105,
Yeah.
care 105 then?
Yeah, see, supplies and office expense, that was for the entire all, so if we want to divide that out,
Yep.
I
Nancy
divided
will
mine
have
out
hers, and
between
then I'll have
training,
mine.
supplies, office expense, and transportation.
Okay, so what we do, supplies, is that where we wanna put, for office expense, is that where we put these laptops and that for the
That
trustees?
would make
That would
sense,
make-
that
Yeah.
So how much do you want there for supplies for,
I'm gonna tell you, I want you to get prices on laptops, because when we got our new laptops, Caitlin was absolutely appalled at what we were charged, because it was way, way, way too much. And she asked my laptop.
Well, we should check,
I have
we
an
should check to see if we
HP.
can get those ones you got, read them.
I have
Yeah,
an
they
HP
need
touch screen. I got at Walmart for $238.
Well, it's got to have enough capability for the software,
Okay, yeah. It's got like a,
you know,
huge.
well, our
storage.
software is pretty big.
Yeah.
so
We're
training
talking
trustee, what
gigabytes,
was
not-
training for trustees, was that, stay at 3,000?
Hang on just a second, let me look at mine.
training for trustees, we were at $1,000 a year per trustee for training.
Okay.
And that is just conference. Are we splitting hotels off into another section? Because
And then,
I've never seen them combined into
and
the
the other
training.
thing
plus.
too is, 1,900 for MTA for that training, how do we split that, where do we include that in here? on the
Okay.
budget?
Which 1,900 are you referring to?
The webinar, you know what I mean? Because we pay MTA $1,900 more a year to
For
have
the
access.
premium package.
Premium,
Well,
thank you, Sarah.
you,
So is that go-
ideally, you would divide it in between.
Well, that's
all of
what
us.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I'm not trying to make
Right.
this too difficult for you. I divided mine up. I came up with $1,600 I'm gonna need for
On
training.
training,
BSNA and MTA conference, 775, a hotel, 500. Meals, which nobody charged you for, but I'm gonna tell you, I was paying over $15 for
Yeah.
breakfast,
Yeah.
75, and mileage, 250. So, you know, our numbers are just off, and we
Okay.
spent way, way, way over on all of our trainings. And
So what-
it's because of prices.
so what do we want?
I don't know what you guys want, I got mine done. You guys, if
So how much did you have for training, Nancy, for one?
total But I remember I included
Right.
hotel, conference,
Right.
BSNA, meals and
Right.
mileage, $1,600.
So 1,600 times 2, so if we go 3,200 for training for you guys,
For the trustee positions?
Trustees.
Yep.
okay? And then supplies,
What supplies?
what
do
do
they need?
what do you have for supplies on your, Nancy, we're gonna see what needs to be.
Okay,
Yeah, but she.
I have envelopes,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna need envelopes.
Right.
I have a toner and drum. I need to have a scanner for checks so that I'm not copying every check in those big books that break and it's a waste. And then paper. So what do you guys want? You want a couple reams of paper?
So do we do what, 1,000 maybe supplies for trustees?
I think that's a little high, what do they
Five
need?
hundred.
Is
Yeah.
that
What
going to buy
supplies do
I
a?
don't think we need supplies,
I don't
as long
either,
as we can
because-
have, the trustee position can have access
To the laptop.
to the laptop that has a license, so licenses for that. And then what did Jeremy say, those were like $300 a
Yeah.
year?
So what, supplies 0 here for
Supplies to the 0.
an office expense, 0?
That's, where are you putting the laptops in?
That's where the laptops
We
would
go
go.
under office expense?
That's
Yep.
what I was thinking.
And that would be 2 laptops and 2 licenses for Microsoft 365.
And I would say you're gonna spend, what, 300, you can, you know, you might keep that at 3,000, because that's 1,500 a person for at least next year. You know what I mean?
Till we
Once
know.
you buy the
Till
laptops,
we
you're
know.
never gonna, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
you
a
will have to
one-time
replace it,
expense, yeah.
that's a one-time expense.
Okay.
So 3,000.
Yeah.
And second page.
Contracted services.
Yeah, the second page.
Yep.
Yeah. We use 80, well, as of April 30th, that's 86.09% of our budget used on that.
There's more than that here.
Yeah,
There is,
Oh, yeah.
because it's down to $12.96.
second page, top line.
Oh, that's 3, that's why I put them on front.
Yeah, but just said, ours are not current, Pat would have current, but she's got her laptop there.
Okay, yeah, the 86,000. Here's.
What are we gonna do with this 86,000 that was put under recreation progress?
That's what I said.
I said that needs,
I
doesn't
said,
that
is
need
that-
to be moved over to the 296 line item?
I don't know, I don't know what it was earmarked for,
Yeah,
okay?
My understanding is originally that was 100,000 back in the day for, you know, because the township had committed to $100,000 for the park project. And so that 86 is, last year we used 14,000 or whatever of that, so there's 86 is left. So I'm thinking that 86 needs to be moved over to our new item, the park project.
That makes sense.
That, yes.
that makes a lot of
So I was changing that to 0.
sense. Okay, changing that to 0.
Drain at large.
Hopefully they don't hit us again like that.
No, we put that back down to what where it normally runs 10,000.
Okay,
We don't get a scrap tire grant, do we?
No, see, that could be.
Because that's
Take
done.
that out.
Postage.
See, that's where we wanna split that out between each department.
So would you 0 it out here and then add the item lines
Add an
to each?
NGL in each.
So,
And
Yeah,
some of them
no,
are
they're
there.
still in there, they're
Yeah.
still there. They're just in
They're
there.
there, they're at 0.
yeah.
Okay. In real estate tax, Nancy, we shouldn't, we had that from previous treasurers that didn't maybe split up I'm gonna say the lighting district or things where we ended up having to pay, or the drains or something. Wasn't that the splits? Remember that?
Well, no, the problem with the lighting district was with splits, but you just had to know where to put the bill.
But the previous person maybe wasn't putting those on.
I went through and put them.
Right, but that was why we had $1,000
I have no
more
idea.
before, because
I
we
don't
used
know.
to do that, and now
I
that
don't
we've
know.
got it corrected, we shouldn't have to have anything
So
there.
like.
I wouldn't think
Yeah,
so.
we done 0.
0.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it says up, real quick.
Look, am I allowed to public comment really quickly, because I have to run, this just has to do about the park, which you kind of just went over, and it's really just about the TDA funds contributing to park. So I know that there has to be a reconciliation in September or so when the project's done. You have to spend the money that you still have to spend, right? And then they're gonna say, this is what you owe us and this is what you have left. Is there a a line item for like parks, capital park spend in the upcoming budget that would pay for like if we want additional trash cans or park benches or the picnic pavilions? Could I make a community public comment suggestion that you have a line item for that? I don't know what money, dollar figure you would put toward it. But that it has its own park improvement or something, I don't know. Because we have a budget line item that we would like to use and spend in combination with what, it'd be great if we both had line items that we could then
The match, aligned.
add up. Yeah, that was my only time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Happy,
You
and
don't take China.
turkey.
I'm going with her.
I'm hungry.
Memorial Day, 0. Trustee holiday expenditures are 0.
Wow, there you go, buy you guys a Christmas present.
There we go.
Well, if you're not a believer.
That's right. Notices and advertising.
That's paid for publishing. And see, that was what I was looking at with, the membership dues, because we had budgeted 25.
Including the premium pass, is that what you want to have, right?
Yeah, and is that where we want to include that? So that needs to be increased because the annual dues haven't come out of it yet. That's why it only shows spent $75. And the MTA dues are $23.45, $2,345, and then $1,900 for the premium pass. So that needs to be up by significantly.
You know what, I think you're wrong on real estate taxes, because full membership dues is township share of lights. So I don't know what the real estate taxes were for.
That could be.
I have no idea. Unless we end up with property that is not tax exempt, then we have to have real estate taxes.
So is that 0 or is that 1,000?
It's at 1,000, but I've never used that. I mean, I wouldn't use it anyway, these are expenditures, stuff like
Right.
that.
It is 0.
Some membership dues, what did you come up with?
42.45. I'm trying to see what the $75 was.
42.
Oh, the 75 was for last year's Montcalm. 25 was for last year's Montcalm MTA. 50 was for this year's Montcalm MTA.
Gotcha.
So that's 75. So we had 75 of that. Oh, that worked out well. I don't know how to use this little. So 43.20 for membership dues. 43.20, is that what we want that to be?
42.20.
43.20.
43.20.
So we're gonna include the premium pass under membership dues and not under any training, okay?
I can understand you asking that question, Pat. That could be open for discussion. I don't really care if
It
it's
doesn't,
right there.
it don't matter to me.
I think it's good.
The rentals, that can go to 0.
Well, where do you put the porta potties in there?
Oh, that's under DPW.
That's under DPW,
Yeah, this
okay.
10,000 is for 0.
Well, I realize that, yeah, and you might wanna leave the GL number, just in case.
Just,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in that. And then just so everybody knows, that miscellaneous $60 that's on there that we spent we took that $60 for Lance division that had to go back to the guy.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's where that $60 is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, do you have any, well, I'm jumping the gun, so.
That's what I've heard.
And since you're going to the president and the supervisor, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, Kurt, what do you want to change with yours? Want more training? Supplies, we give you some supplies, or you're good with no supplies? No.
Can you just take them out of your office?
No, that's why we're trying to do individual.
All right,
Yeah.
work. Wages, like, making good there, training, so what what did we train, was training up to? 32, so 15,
Yeah,
1600
Yeah.
for training. And then office supplies,
that would be,
what's Nancy got on hers for, oh, she needs
She's
more.
got a nice whole,
she's, yeah. What did she have for office supplies on hers now?
the supplies, 3874, office expense, 1840.
What do you do?
1,000 on each,
Yeah,
so paper and stuff like that, we're gonna split it. Does it come out of, because we didn't put anything in general.
Well, I'm gonna wait for her to come back and you can ask her.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's the main thing. I'm thinking paper we share, toner and, you know, repair on the big machine.
So do you want supplies at 1,000?
Let's say 1,000. And 1,000 for office expense. But I would think postage, I'm gonna go with like 500 the most.
What are you down to, Pat?
we were talking about her office supplies for
I'm
her.
trying to steal out from your,
Well,
but
no,
yours are a lot different than
and,
mine.
well, yeah, because,
But I said for office supplies like paper. So if I order paper for, does that come out of mine, does it come out of
well,
yours?
this is what I did. I put paper on mine is because I do use paper, I probably don't use as much as you. I put down 12 reams, you can get a box of it for $49.99, I believe. But my other question was the postage, because I still have things I will mail out, 'cause I gotta mail out
Right.
receipts, I have some bills I'll mail out, but I mail out all of the bills
Bills.
that we pay monthly.
Right,
But yet you have things you have to pay too.
yeah, but I would think for
Yeah.
postage, 500, because I'm not talking election stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
So I
this is
said
just-
1,000 for office supplies, 1,000 for office expense, and 500 for postage for my department.
Okay, and what I have no idea is how much those envelopes cost that your checks fit into. Because we're almost out, I believe.
Yeah,
So, you know, I just did, all I put down for my envelopes were the 2 boxes I'm probably gonna need to do the receipts. Somebody, well, and I have people that, I have escrow ones that people want their tax bills too.
Well,
So
I
that's
just
the
think-
2 boxes.
you know, we're splitting it out, I mean, my personal opinion is we're trying to split it out, and if we get into the year and it's not correct, we come back and
Yeah,
say.
we,
Just
yeah.
start keeping track.
And
Yeah,
that's the
just,
good thing about
this
that.
is
just
a-
split it out,
Right.
split it out, because I,
Right, we're guessing at this at this
yes,
point.
Yeah.
right,
You
and
need
like I
any
said.
miscellaneous?
no.
Well, and yeah, that's what amendments are for, and
Right.
another thing we did learn
But it
was
would be
do
good.
amendments as they happen.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't
not
save 'em
6
up.
months away.
It's good to start,
Any
Right.
equipment?
no, I don't think so.
Computer software, nothing? You don't upgrade your software,
Well,
you know what I
see,
mean?
Because like, and that's where like BSNA, the yearly, annual,
Yeah,
that goes, we've got that under
I saw that.
somewhere in the previous page.
I know.
Which is appropriate though, because it is both of
That's
us.
smart. Right, yeah, well, okay, that's what, that bill we just paid, it was for the Sonic Wall. Who uses the Sonic Wall more than you and me? Sewer department, and we are paying that entire
Yeah,
bill.
so we need to,
And I meant to bring that up at the last meeting, and I forgot about it.
yeah. So we need to.
So, just to be fair,
Right,
you know. But we're back
all
to.
right, so I think I'm good.
Border review,
Salaries
I
are
let's
good.
have
say
those border reviews done.
training, we might just
Leave
to
it the
have
same.
one, but it should cover, right?
Kim's gonna need it for sure,
And if Bob quits,
if Bob ends. Other supplies, well, see, advertising, typically in the past, we just paid all advertising under the first page, under government, and not broke up. But I can start,
That's up to you, do you want to do that?
well, you guys want, do you want that split out?
It's good to know, to me, it's better to know the individual, cause we can always
So
combine them.
can I say $100 for notice and advertising under board of review? Just
A hundred?
Because
As a
it will always be
placeholder.
as a
and then-
placeholder,
yeah.
just to have something there, and if we need
Right.
more, we know, but,
Okay.
but when I pay that, I'll be able to split it out. You know that.
Correct, okay,
All right, Nancy.
Well, I'm just gonna give you a copy of this, as soon as I can make a copy.
Papers on the back of my golf cart, everybody was out of order. Boys love about me.
So I will give you this. Okay, when we're done.
Assessor, we need to change salary to 37,
Two.
unless, I don't know what we're doing. I think her,
Computer software needs to go up.
yeah, it needs to go up a little bit, and she has a tax and BSA
1700.
assessing. Yeah,
Instead of 15.
yeah, there's little, and then postage, her assessment notices was only 14, so if we go 15.
15, still
100 for postage for
2500.
her, and then we need to adjust it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Election salary, I'm reducing that to 4,000. And I wanna create some new line items here instead of machine setup. It's so hard. And why, these were only the ones they had before. How much? We got 5,000 in supplies, that's for printing and everything. Or well, printing and publishing is 2,000. But I was gonna put 1,500 under postage, create a new line item for postage.
Does make sense.
Yeah,
1500.
yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Elections, that's it.
Moving on.
Buildings and grounds,
All right,
supplies.
that's where, and again, that was where so we have building and grounds, and then we have Department of Public Works.
Right.
Tell me why.
Well, I don't know.
And
But
so,
they were separated for a reason, but I don't know.
because that's the way it always was. So,
And they
supplies,
both- it's
sorry.
too, that's a chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
Which one, I'm sorry?
I just said between those two.
Right,
it's-
so if we look at supplies under building and grounds, we had budgeted 26, and that's about what they spent. Under DPW, we had 1,000 budgeted for supplies.
And they almost got that.
Yep, so there's 36, but if we want to put everything under building and grounds and put the 4,000 under building and grounds and, well, you put 0 under supplies under DPW.
You know how you split that out. You're gonna be the best judge of
But
that.
you know, it's hard, and that's what I'm saying, one time I have the same account number for like, if I pay, I don't know, whoever, Carson City Lumber.
Right.
I always pay them under whichever one, I don't know if it's DPW or building and grounds. So do we really
See,
need 2 of them?
Well, I want you to compare the two and see how much you can combine and that you wanna combine.
Well, see,
before you
'cause-
make that
okay,
choice.
so I did supplies, so the total in supplies between the two was 3,600, and we spent 36, so that's a little bit over. And communication, that $20,000 under communication, that's the internet. Why do they
Gas
take?
and phones.
See the way
And then the 441, the DPW is the phones.
Mhm.
And then you've got electricity, 25,000, which I think is this building. 441, I think is maybe the parking lot lights, or maybe the park lights.
Right.
And then sewer, the 720 is the sewer bill here. The 3,000 is what we pay the porta-johns out of.
Sure. I'm gonna say this, if you're not sure on all these and you want to verify what they are, this is our first meeting, it's not gonna be our last.
But
So
I'm
if
just
you
saying,
want to work some of that together and at our next
See, the
meeting.
way I would take that, and this is just my
Yeah.
opinion, building would be anything associated with the building.
Correct.
Not necessarily oil for my lawnmower, you know,
Right.
the
but
cha- you know,
the department is building and grounds.
right.
then you do, then the grounds is paid for the oil for the truck.
But our equipment is down here in the Department of Public Works.
Right.
Right, but even the gas, you know, so we got maintenance repairs, that was, between the two, it was $10,000.
But I take that as we're repairing a lawnmower, not repairing the building.
Right, and then you've got maintenance for
Yes.
building, which is, we had 35,000, which we haven't spent, but we had 0 under DPW, so
If it's red, it's from the street.
I don't know.
I don't know. Could have been a.
you know, I hesitate to merge those together when we're trying to separate them out for the other area.
Well, so.
In this
but-
case, it makes sense to do it
But
though.
what if we look at actually naming things, what
No,
makes
well,
sense?
Right.
Yeah, I would say, why don't you look at this for a while, and we're gonna have another meeting.
But I don't know what you want me to come back with.
Whatever you feel is right, you're the one that knows where you pay things out of, and why.
So is it coming out of this account or is it coming out of this, you know what I mean? Which one's to,
Depends on what day it is.
well, that's,
Okay.
if it's, whatever depends date
You know what I
is,
mean,
then.
like I said, Mark,
they should be
small
combined.
engine always gets paid out of this one, but
Oh, I thought it was general fund.
Think about it.
Well, and I would even boil it down further as far as building, I would say community center, building and grounds.
right.
No park buildings and grounds.
You'd separate it that far.
Yeah, I would, so,
If you feel it needs to be, but you know, I mean, you're also adding a lot of record keeping to our DPWs. Are they gonna be good at that? They're gonna have to say where they were, how long it took, how much gas it took, et cetera, et cetera, et
But, and that's,
cetera.
it's gonna be hard when they go fill up the lawnmowers and mow.
I know.
To determine.
And sometimes it's impractical.
To know how much,
Yeah,
you know, and how much of the equipment, but. So, the one thing they said, probably with maintenance and repairs, is they probably would need, right now we've got 9,000 on there. We need new tires for the truck. So they were thinking that needed to be upped. Oh, and then for equipment, that was where they were hoping to get their bagger. Oh, wait, and that was the question, we put the bagger under, equipment under grounds and maintenance, or under DPW?
To me, it'd be under building and grounds.
me too.
mhm.
That's what I would say.
But we do have a DPW parks maintenance,
Yeah.
under public works, some of those just need to go.
Right.
Right, that's, yeah, and,
Well, and that
Oh,
DPW
wait a
park
minute, wait a
maintenance,
minute. But
did that come,
if we go back under Department of Public Works equipment,
it's 42,000 for the new truck you budgeted last year.
that was what we didn't do, think that?
Right.
Okay, so, but yeah, I would think the baggers, in,
So,
now they said Mitch told me that, and I don't know, cause I don't know. For all practical purposes, he thought there should be one for each mower.
Well,
I don't know.
that's gonna be the problem. If we
I-
only put one mower, what's the other guy gonna do, because now unless we have another trip, so he can go to some other, you know, they both mow together, they both go to cemetery, they both
Well, that's
mow.
all, so I'm just.
So either, yeah, you do need 2 baggers, or another truck and
no,
trailer.
drop one guy off with the mower and the bagger and head your ass on to the next spot.
Or will you bag?
Then you're wasting a lot of gas.
On our
Two weed
DPW
whacking.
crew, he doesn't get left without a
We only
truck.
have one mower,
He
right?
doesn't
No,
get,
we're gonna-
oh, he's gotta have a
He's
truck.
gotta have a truck.
but you
Okay,
can have
that's-
another guy weed whacking, you know, there's other.
I don't know. I
Garbage,
don't
weed
really
whack, gravel,
How
yeah.
much were those baggers?
It was like 3,600.
Each?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
that be for 2?
That's why. the-
No, and it's a commercial guy over to Sheridan Hardware,
Yeah.
that's a commercial bagger, and he says, he's giving it to us for none of his cost.
Right,
He
okay.
wouldn't dicker any.
So
Well,
the bagger was
okay, I
4,000.
guess, are they gonna be really mad if they only get one?
I honestly,
We have
God,
one.
Get mad, stomp your feet, I
I
don't
don't mean it
care.
that way, I don't mean it that way.
I think we
That's
should
what
only
I'm
buy
saying,
one,
so.
make sure it does what they think it's gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm with you
I'd
on
hate to
that.
spend that kind of money and then don't, cause what they're hoping
Right,
that,
and then
that-
it helps with the pine cones too.
with Spencer Cemetery.
Okay.
goes with.
Will this place come out and give us a demonstration to see if we want to spend taxpayer money on
They're
it?
not gonna let us use their
No,
No,
bagger.
they've got to order it to get
And
it
it's
in.
gotta be,
I'll give them one bagger.
So they had the bagger for 4,000, we need to make payment on the tractor for 86, and then each year we buy, trade in a zero turn, and that's approximately 27, so I have 3,000. So I
Right,
said
no,
16.
why do we, okay, so wait a minute,
16.
we get a new zero turn every year?
Yeah, trade one in.
Why? Because I've had my tractor
We have
for
a
like
lot to
4
mow.
years.
We have a lot to
For
mow.
$2,700, they figure it's cheaper than a maintenance,
Maintenance.
yeah. Now, these guys might be better, our last guy, I would say was the best on maintenance, but.
Yeah, but that's what. I just think it's crazy.
Those mowers go through a lot.
Mhm.
They really do. And yes, I think they do their best to take care of them.
Mhm. And I think, like I said, for brand new tractor for $2,700 a year,
I mean, that is not a bad price, but it seems like we could get at least 2 year, every other year, but,
but then you're not gonna get the trade-in. You might
oh, is that
trade-
what it is?
Yeah, 'cause you
Okay.
trade in,
Well, that makes sense.
See, really, we run them 2 years,
you trade one in every year.
Okay,
every year.
And they
okay,
make
so,
It's 2
okay,
years
so
over
that
a year.
makes more sense.
At what point, yeah.
Clean.
Okay.
At what point they
Thank
wait
you.
2 years?
I get it now.
And so under DPW, I split salary, so we have salary for
Yeah.
Mitch. Are we giving him a raise, are we not giving raises? And then the
Mm.
next one is salary for,
If you're talking raises, it better be across the board.
I agree if we're talking raises this year, but
Didn't that just happen
A year ago.
a year ago?
it's,
Jeez, how does time go so fast?
So anyway, you can keep going from there,
Well,
but
we
yeah.
can come back to salaries.
so then the clothing allowance can go down to 400, because we only have 2 guys.
Why was that?
Cause we had 3 guys
We had 3
before,
guys last year, we paid.
200
Oh, I
apiece.
forgot. I
Gotta
forgot.
take
One
them
that
down.
down 400. Okay.
Supplies, if we want, we're gonna keep supplies here at the other one. Communication, what is that, communication?
Is that their
Phone.
Oh, their phone, yep, that's their phone. The garbage, trash disposal, that's the monthly thing out here,
Right.
plus cleanup days. So I think that needs to go up,
Yeah.
obviously, to 15,000.
From 8 to 15?
Yeah. Because it's.
They
we
spent last year
a lot of-
11,177.
Take it up.
And if we
What
have-
are you looking at that I don't have, Kurt? That's cheating.
What's your show there?
It's from April.
A lot of zeros in a lot of things.
I don't know, it was mine too, but.
Yeah.
Sewer usage, which is what we pay the porta-johns, why that's under sewer usage.
That was 3781
Yeah, so that needs to be 4,000,
for
that's just me.
zero out to maintenance and repairs.
But then, under, see, up at the top, 101,265, 730, 700 maintenance of building.
Yeah.
We had budgeted 35 and we've only spent 85, what did we wanna do for maintenance of building?
I'd like to do some maintenance on our building.
Yes, I was gonna, yes.
So leave that.
So
Yep.
Shad probably should raise that.
I'm not.
Leave it
I
at
think it
35?
should- I think it
Don't
should
get
go
rid of
to
it, that's all I'm gonna say.
But what do, we don't wanna up it to, or just?
Paint all the stuff down here for 10 grand.
I say well, that was my point, raising it to 50. It gives you some
We wanna raise it to
Okay,
50?
we'll raise
That's
it,
just my opinion.
we'll raise your 50.
And then down,
Our insurance, it's probably gonna go up to 36,000.
well, yeah, 'cause it was 35.
5311 last year.
You know, I ran into that guy that, left you all those goodies back at the conference.
Yes. He said
And he's got-
36 for
If you
insurance,
start
then
comparing
we're back at
insurances,
the top.
sometimes they other ones sharpen their pencil.
I know we saved a lot when we switched to this company.
Yeah.
Well, a lot, that guy was, you know.
Is there
Okay.
anything else on that page?
Well, the local road grind,
Okay.
I had 30,000 for Brian this year. No. Yeah.
yeah, we'll have two.
22 last year.
Yeah, we'll have two, one in, okay, 4th of July and one in
This
Labor
is
Day.
a budget, this is the budgeted item, this is what we've spent to date.
Right.
So quit saying last year, it's this year's still.
Well,
You're driving me nuts. I'm like, what are you talking about?
So instead of 40, we'll do 30 for that,
30 for that.
because the first run will be out of this
And
year.
they do 3 runs.
Right, the first one's not out of
Yeah.
the
They're
new
doing,
budget.
they're doing the first
Right.
run today.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
so don't stay out the back roads.
That's what I said. And then, so, road improvement bridges, those could, you can deactivate those lines. Cemetery flags are up, so we finally do $1,000
What's
for
I
flags.
put?
Cemetery maintenance,
It is up.
but we need to do some trees, we got some really bad trees out at Spencer. And
Oh,
we need
yeah.
to do, and they need to be professionally done, we need to do some stumps out there, and we need to do something to the drive.
Yes.
So I was thinking maybe, that's a lot, but even 5,000 or 7,000 for cemetery maintenance this year.
Yeah, wasn't there a couple at Crystal Cemetery you come down to?
Yeah,
So I could be alright with 7.
7,000.
You're gonna talk
Yeah.
about some tree removals.
And like I said, I guess they're really, well, he's got old headstones, so
Yeah.
they're gonna be bad. So that's at that page, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna inactivate the library. Inactivate 206, right? Inactivate that page.
Page 6.
Okay, police fund. So is that, we taking it in 108? Budget 118. State liquor enforcement, so that, should we up the state liquor law enforcement? We got 23.
It, depends on what they send us,
Yeah.
quite frankly. Same way with the court costs and fines, it's, you know, depends on how many people get in trouble over at the boat landing this year.
So what do we want to put in the budget for this year?
I know what people are gonna do.
That's a hard one.
And then, moving down, so expenditure 207, that, you don't need, but then salary or contract labor, 2024, it goes up to 90,000. So for July, August, September, October, November, December, it's gonna be, 90,000, and then starting in January, it goes up to 95. So I put contract labor at 92,000.
Okay.
Increasing that to 92.
And do you think we will want to, every year, probably give money to our marine patrol, so that we should have something under miscellaneous? So we
Okay.
put that 500 as a marine patrol.
Okay. Good idea.
Nothing else needs-
Page 8, we're gonna inactivate that page, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Except the pen, you gotta get something out of
That
that.
500.
Yeah, I gotta move that out of there.
Get that one thing out of there. It wouldn't let you do it without that anyway, that's right.
And then 217, old roads.
What is the budget down there where it said 141,854?
So that's what we budgeted this year to spend. We've only spent 12,000 because they're just starting on road projects now.
Okay.
Correct, and
That's
you
right.
weren't here when our auditor came in and explained to us how these are gonna transpire over a couple of, 2 fiscal years because of when it's done and when it's paid.
Okay, cause I was wondering why we haven't used.
Yeah, and see, this year we approved, 184,000 in road contracts, but how much of that is gonna be
Out of this
part
one.
of this 141 and how much, but then next year we'll have to pay,
Some of it.
for
Right, right.
May, June.
Yeah.
So do we do like 184, since that's what we contracted this year? Which we
That
do.
makes sense.
Right, yeah.
It does make sense.
Oh my
84?
God, I'm making
184.
sense, it's scary.
Everybody go by lot.
Yeah, that's right. You call somebody.
Okay.
good there with the lighting district. I mean, we've only spent $319, but the money's there, we're getting the money, so it doesn't hurt the budget.
No, yeah, money's gonna come in on that, no matter what.
Yeah, and then the same with, so street lighting on page 12, because we're a little bit over.
For some reason, under assessments collected, I put 43 plus.
On what page on
I'm
The one you're on,
Page 12.
yeah.
Oh,
top.
assessment,
And
okay,
then
right at it, I couldn't even
What
see
did you
that.
put?
That makes, I put 43 plus on my notes, so
Okay.
that must have been when I was looking at something.
Okay.
That's what was
Okay.
coming in for the street lighting, I'm going to guess.
So
Okay.
25, or 27,000, because electricity's just going up, and that's why we're
So
over.
you're down to expenditures?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then decorative lighting up to 1,000.
Oh, I said 750, but
Yeah.
that's fine.
I just like rounder numbers.
Yeah.
What streetlights will be?
1,000,
For
About
five?
500.
Yeah.
And then on the fire, we need to change that 12,000 to 110. State grants, we need to
Oh,
change
I
that
wrote,
to 10.
you know what? Yeah, I did write down something. $120,320.
Oh, okay, 100, what?
123.20.
123.20, okay, so I can get that corrected to that. And then the state grants need to be 10,000, right? Because we got that grant for the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decorating medicines.
Yeah. Right, but.
Yeah, now you're talking two different things. You're talking about
Right,
correcting
correct.
this one,
Right,
but we're really,
I'm gonna circle this for current for me.
okay.
But so for next year, we would keep that at 0.
Yeah. You won't be thinking again.
And the fire contracts are the same, I'm assuming? Did Mike give us, he didn't give us revenue, did he? He just gave us expenditures.
yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna. Now, I believe that's up so high because of that oil well, lawsuit that Ferris Township had to pay. We got extra money there. I don't know if that still is gonna happen, so you might wanna
Ask
ask him what,
what the contracts are.
his contracts are. And if he's gonna try and change them.
So what does his budget say? Same for salaries. This looks pretty much this,
And Medicare,
clothing allowance, 1,000, we up the clothing allowance to 1,000. Training 1,000, supplies, reduce that to 500. Gasoline 15, and if that, see, I worry about that, but.
what?
Because we had 3,000, he's asking for 15, looks like year to date is 17.
That's just it, he's working blind if he doesn't see what's been spent.
Right.
He
Yeah,
had
So-
some of it, he had it, but, so
I know.
maybe do 2,000 for gasoline.
yeah, at least.
Office expenses, upping that to 750. Legal, professional contractor services, 1,000, up that the same. Communication, 2,000, the same. Utilities, he upped that to 5,000.
And what is communications for, because no one's gonna use. I mean, I realize he's got it
Well,
on
yeah.
there, and I don't have a problem with him having it on there, but
Would that be their license for their, two-way radios?
could be, maybe.
I-
I think they got.
We don't know,
their
we don't know.
license
Okay.
Sewer usage has gotta be the same, maintenance was repair, 15,000, he's leaving that. Maintenance for the building, he's down in that to 1,500 instead of 2,000.
His utilities were over 5,000 last year. Or so far this year, excuse me.
Yeah,
See,
they're already
now
over
we're
that.
doing
You're all
Yeah.
confused now.
So that's.
Had to get out of here.
Hungry.
So I would say,
Oh,
hey,
hungry.
run it, you probably wanna bump that,
To 6,
yeah,
What's that?
utilities.
utilities to 6 instead of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then equipment, he's got 60,000, he wants 50.
Yeah, just
But he overspent.
don't forget to do your, adjustment on that one though.
On the top of him?
on the equipment. Remember we, bought all that equipment?
So are we dropping it down to 50?
Yes, what you wanted. So there's that, next page 0. We don't have anything on our system for the DDA. ARPA,
We're not gonna get any more money, we are gonna get interest.
we've got,
And everything should probably not be, I don't know, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, we have an office expense. Cause I reimbursed the general. Checks and, yeah, but we are going to get interest in the, what, isn't interest not on here? How am I doing that wrong? Not letting you know what it is? I do it to the, and that's just it, I do it just because it's recorded into, so that we can balance the checkbook, and it's the, statement. Doesn't put it in here, does it?
but it should.
Does it or doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't show, so that's we need to clarify.
Yeah,
Interest
You
for
need to
ARPA.
be showing just the interest.
well, we can, you know, I don't know what you do with that, we have a balance of money to spend,
Right,
but we don't have anything coming in other than interest, so do you want the balance in that account? But it's not, we're not gonna get any more revenues in.
right,
But can it be a revenue that's existing? For budget matters? If you're
Well,
looking
and
at-
the interest would be a revenue.
Yes, I said that, but what is the balance in the account? Can that be still under a revenue, even though it's?
no, it wouldn't be a
So
revenue.
where is it gonna go? Because you've gotta have a balance in that account.
Right.
To be able to spend anything on it. Making any sense there?
Mhm.
So, I'm
I don't know.
maybe.
You
Yeah.
want those buoys to come out of the,
What?
you want those buoys to be paid for out of the?
It does not matter, just let me know, and, you know, I don't care where it gets paid out of, those are things that were towards the park,
And public safety, you know.
yeah,
Take them out of ARPA or whatever you go.
yeah, cause it's like $120-some thousand in there, approximately.
And then the next page is the park. We have no more, well, we will have the final Eagle reimbursement.
Right,
Well, and
So it
that's
should be
where,
125,000. I don't have my calculator on me, but I think 175 plus 105, 25 should be the 300, right? So we're gonna want to make that 125
okay.
miscellaneous.
in park maintenance, DPW park maintenance, we need to put something in there.
Yes, we do.
That was for consumers energy, but yeah, what was already spent, but.
Right.
Yeah. So are we going to keep our park fund as it is? Hello? And go from there? You know, always putting revenue in there every month. And where we get the revenue from. See, that's where some of it goes back to, let's say, the general fund. See, am I making any sense of that? This we had to do because we were getting a grant.
Yeah.
So we did a new general, we did its own fund number, right? But maybe eventually, once this is cleared out,
Go back,
it will go back within the,
back to that first page
back to
where
the
we
general
have
fund itself rather than its
Right.
own fund. Does that
Right,
make sense?
Yeah.
Eventually, not right now, but.
yeah.
What do we wanna put in the maintenance of that right now?
For next year,
Yeah.
I don't know, what are we maintaining?
Well, you get,
Well,
I mean,
are we gonna, is that where we need to put something in if we put up a pavilion?
that wouldn't be under maintenance.
No, this is like maintenance
This
of
is like the concrete,
payroll
you know.
hours, fixing things that break over there, extra stuff, yeah, that
That
stuff.
shouldn't be much then. being new, I hope not.
You're gonna have a water system.
And we'll have to
Well, yeah,
winterize, we'll have to
because that's gotta
winterize
get
that.
drained,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So we gotta put something.
So I'd say placeholder, at least $1,000
Okay.
in there, and if it
Yeah.
winds up being
Yeah.
different, realize we can move it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for that one?
Okay, just go past the project fund,
Nothing?
and then you don't have anything from the sewer department.
Nothing for the sewer yet?
Electric board. We talked about wages, what people's, on people's minds.
What do you mean when you say straight through?
What?
What do you mean when you meant straight through everybody?
I said across the board.
Across
the board.
Across the board.
That means if we're
If
gonna do,
anybody's getting any, everybody's getting some.
everybody's getting.
Okay,
Yes,
that's what I'm.
so we can think
Do we
about
know
that.
The cost of living is for this year, last, well, for next
Okay.
year.
You can look at it that way, but you can also look at what we do for how everyone's paying. And we already are paying very little, so that's why one of the guys from the audience last year freaked out when he heard of what cost of living that maybe we were gonna get. Then he was embarrassed later because he didn't realize how little we were paying.
Yeah.
He was going on what he was paid, and that he never had a cost of living that high. And I don't really know who we did by cost of living.
I'm more of the viewpoint of checking out or checking into the possibility of offering insurance rather than just upping salaries.
Well, the insurance can only be for employees,
Right.
so that is a thought too. Mitch is eventually going to be,
Office mom and dad's insurance.
he should be already with what he's making, quite frankly. Ira, he's gonna be looking at them a little dicey if they're still on there, but he might be able to for a little while.
And he just turns 21 this year.
So he has another 7 years, 6 years, 26.
But
It-
wages will come into play there.
Wages cancel that out.
I didn't know that,
Yeah.
because Sarah was on my number until she turned 26, and she was making more than I was. So, I didn't know that wages came
It
into
can
play.
happen, it can happen. I'm not gonna say it's gonna do it never.
Right.
So that's something to think about, and Patrick, I don't even know if he has any insurance. You know, so that's,
If he does, it's true. I doubt if he does know what he's making, but it'd be through the county if he does.
well,
But nowadays, even $18 an hour ain't much.
no, it's
So he's
not,
still gonna be
there's
county
also, not necessarily county, there's also, they call it a volunteer, it's got another
Yeah,
word.
but I think before he got right through the county.
Right, but if he eases out of that,
Yeah,
there's
he's
still, I think the
bond-
marketplace
yeah,
is still,
marketplace, so,
is still there.
yeah.
ACA, what's ACA?
Americans.
Okay. Which you buy, you buy through the marketplace.
Right,
Yeah.
he's done your wages, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so that's
But
something.
if we stay with that, we have the health insurance to one, it's gonna be across the board everybody.
Well, right, and
Well,
if
it's
we're
gotta be-
talking about wage increases, where are our yearly evaluations and things of such measure? You know, usually when you get a raise, you have that yearly evaluation, and depending on how it is, you get your
Hard
raise.
to evaluate. You know what I mean?
Exactly, so,
That would be,
Well, evaluations are for employees.
right,
we are not.
we're not evaluating each other, no, I'm talking about employees.
Yes, yeah.
You know, that usually comes from a department head or a meeting or something like that.
Again, we're tossing items around, thinking about,
But I'm just saying, are we going to look into insurance, get numbers before, to be able to have it done to
well,
adopt the
that's what
budget?
your agent is for, calling and telling you what you want and making you get back with you. He does that job.
Yeah, that's what
Does
they
somebody
do.
wanna do that? I mean, that's what I'm saying, what kind of insurance do you want, like, what, you know what I mean, that opens up a whole
Health insurance.
conversation though.
Health
How much
insurance.
coverage?
Yes, it does open a whole
He
conversation,
can
but
give you a breakdown of different levels, that's
Yeah.
what his job is.
in my
Or
viewpoint,
his girl under him will do it
So
for him.
everyone will be offered health insurance, do they have an option to opt out of it and therefore go?
That's
We
all
only got
different.
two employees, right?
But we got sewer.
Yeah,
Well, sewer's acting on their own, they make their own budget, they do their own thing, why are we calling for sewer?
Because we approved their budget.
Well, then if they want it, I guess they better look into it too. But, you know,
Oh, so
you gotta think
you're
about
talking
it.
insurance just on our two employers, not the board.
See, that's
no,
what I-
not the
that's
board,
what I
I'm
thought,
talking
that's
about
why I
the
asked that.
I thought you
employees.
meant all of us,
And
I always say that's what it costs.
From my shoes, the employees include Kevin, Ron, Pat, and Mitch,
I think you have to include Janet, cause it's she an employee.
Yeah.
and Janet. And that is a whole big thing, but to
Basic
me,
health
that is
insurance for
being a
5
good
employees.
employer.
Well,
Yes,
if
they can
you're-
opt
if
out,
you're
say if
gonna-
Kevin's wife is carrying health insurance, he can opt out.
If you're
If
gonna
anybody
keep an
else's
employer,
spouses or
something
whatever,
you're
if
gonna
they-
tell
yeah,
them.
Well, you treat them right.
Right.
And to me, that's part of treating them right, like keeping the wages moving in the right direction. Sometimes it's not always wages, sometimes it's taking up part of their health care, you know?
And it's probably, he's gonna have options of, are we putting the whole bill or no, some of it's gonna be deducted from theirs, from their
And
salary.
every company's gonna have their own different packages and what they're gonna offer.
Yeah, that's right.
So if they deny it, then would you give the other employee, the employee that denies it, would you give him what it's costing to put it on the other
No,
one?
don't do that, don't
You
go
can't
there.
do that, I don't
Don't
believe.
go there, that's.
We looked into it when we owned the gas station and you couldn't, it was no penalty and no reward, like you can choose to do it if you want or not.
Right, yeah, no, they used to do that at the hospital, but, no, I've been gone from the hospital for well over, almost 30 years. And they quit that a long time ago, that don't happen,
I say first thing.
take it or don't take
You
it,
didn't take it, they reimbursed you for not taking it.
Right,
but not
they used
anymore,
to do that, yeah, years ago.
not anymore, I think that went bye-bye, with the cost of everything.
So therefore Kevin would not get a raise this year. If you
Well-
have insurance.
I don't think we said that.
She said across the board.
Sarah
I
said
mean,
that
that's
to
what,
you.
that's why I asked, because if we're gonna do something across the board, that's why I asked that question. That's why I was cost of living.
The sewer report to this board.
The sewer reports to this board, we
Sort
look
of.
at the sewers.
But we never look at their bills, I've never seen a bill. Ever. So this is kind of funky the way that's being run.
Originally, we had two boards, and two boards were the township board, and then it was kind of merged, I mean, I think.
So the question
Well,
is, cost of
as our
living
lawyer
increase
said,
from
you can't
twenty-three
have
to
pregnant
twenty-four,
people,
and it
so
says
owns
it's
the sewer department.
3.4%. 3.4%. That's what it says. But that was just one, it could be, who knows, you know, what it was, but.
Okay, anything else for the next meeting?
Well, I think we need to have another meeting, because we're
Right.
nowhere near a very
No.
good budget.
Well,
That's what I mean, do they want anything else before we have our next meeting?
so let's set our meeting,
We'll do it next Thursday,
next Thursday, same place, same time.
5 or 4?
I think I have next Wednesday off, not Thursday. So I could be here as early as 5:30. But I have,
You
Let
got
me look-
Wednesday off?
let me look at my schedule. I should have taken a
How's
copy of
Wednesday
it.
work for you guys?
I have no idea.
I think I know.
I'm trying to get
I
through
do
the
not
damn
have
holiday
it.
weekend.
I do not have a day off next, I have
Oh.
next Tuesday off. That's the day I have off next week. Tuesday is what I have off next week. Because of holiday, I took it off.
Hey, let us know what time you can be here, either Wednesday or Thursday, and
I would close, so I wouldn't be available until after 5:15.
What are the dates on those, because we all got invited
29th is
to
the Wednesday.
When is-
Montcalm Economic Alliance
What day
is
that?
Wednesday.
so go
What
for
time is that?
Thursday?
I'm trying to, I can't find it right now. Do you remember what time I wrote down on that meeting? I think 2 PM, I'm not sure though. And all of us were invited, we all have the email from Jacob Lagarde, I believe.
I do.
Remember, didn't they do that?
Supervisor definitely does, trustee definitely does, I think clerk was on there, and I thought I saw a treasurer. And David, you're on
When was
there
it sent?
too. Yesterday or the day before?
I didn't get it.
I'll forward it to you.
I'm
So
looking
is
right now.
that the county? Where's that at?
That is going to be at the MCC campus in Greenville.
When is it? At 2 o'clock?
I believe so.
I
I'll
would
forward it,
totally go.
I'll forward it to all you
Cause I
guys.
have Wednesday off, so, or Tuesday off, not
So do
Wednesday.
we do May 30th, Thursday at 6 o'clock?
That is Thursday,
Does that work?
that's what May 30th is Thursday.
6
Think so.
Sure.
6 P.M. works for me.
Thursday at 6.
Thursday.
So the sewer budget will be done by next week?
Yeah,
Hopefully 5:30.
well, he said
We
the
can
next
still,
board
we
meeting,
can
because the
still
guy,
meet.
because the
Yeah,
guy
we
he's
can.
working with can't make it next week, but him and Janet was gonna go over things again Monday, but to fine tune it,
Right.
make sure he ain't missing something. That other guy's gonna be back the following week to
It's
go
a
over with.
holiday. He gave it to, you know.
So,
So motion to adjourn?
no, public comment. Tim, guys want to say?
No comment?
No comment?
How come you're tardy?
I've been busy.
So motion to adjourn.
One of the
6:54.
one of the things I talked to Bob.
All in favor?
No, he's
Yeah.
talking.
Oh, you're still calling?
I didn't hear it.
Comment.
Oh, okay, sorry,
No,
David, thank you.
It's probably
I'm so
singular.
sorry.
I talked to Bob Knoll, and I'm gonna meet with him tomorrow. But he's including, the benches and the dugout as far as painting, and that's not something the DDA signed up to.
Okay,
We signed up to the pavilion because it's used for the music in the park. So if you want paint, he's looking to the township to cover the paint costs for the dugout.
Lions Club
Oh, okay.
is doing work out there,
Gotcha.
and you wanted to know
Didn't the kids or the,
Usually painted dugouts, didn't they?
They've done
Last
something,
year,
they
a couple
did,
years?
one of them looks like it's been done, but not all of them.
Yeah, they came and talked about it with us when we talked
And by
about
the
the
way,
diamond chip
they
stuff.
usually did thank the board for the diamond dust.
well, that's what the Lions want to know, if we would supply the paint since they were.
one way I could handle that if you want me to is provide the paint or get the DA and then send you the invoice for half of it or something.
Okay.
I mean, how do you wanna work it or just let Bob know?
Yeah.
I don't know how much
Yeah.
paint.
Okay. Well, he's 7.
Did he send you an invoice or a?
You can't, my big phone here, you can't.
Can we adjourn?
His
Will you
phone-
not there?
his phone
You know,
Motion by Nancy, seconded by Alicia to adjourn
It
at
was,
It's the other way around.
but that's why,
almost 7.
and, yeah, okay, everybody say yes.
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 Okay, say aye.
This is for the Historical Society.
Okay.